Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this Friday, the 4th of February, 2022. Thank you for tuning in. I'm glad to have you guys here. Now, this is a cake. You guys are all familiar with cakes, okay? But this cake is representative of something. I'm using it as an illustration. You see the cherries in the center? And you see the cake itself? The people are like the cake, like the black part of the cake part of the cake. And you know, the representatives, the people put in the position of government are like the cherries, you know? Well, you know, we built the cake, the people built the cake, and everything that surrounds the cherries, the whole cake itself, is all the fringe. The center of the cake is those bunch of cherries. But the fringe element, the element that's all around the cake, the whole cake itself, all the people that created the cake in the first place are the fringe. The people are the fringe. The fringe is everything that surrounds the cherries. That's the fringe of the cake. The cherries is the centerpiece. But who put the cherries in there, made them the centerpiece? And, you know, I'm going to tell you guys something else. This is the way we used to make cakes. We used to make cakes this way. The people, I'm going to tell you, when a country was established, what happened? There's nobody there. Hundreds and hundreds of years ago, you know, and they came in, the people came in, and they planted the flag, and they started to divide the country up into sections of land, and they started to build farms and settlers. They're called settlers, and they built the whole structure of the government itself. They built the cake, and then they elected the centerpiece, the little cherries, you know, and they expected the little cherries to do a good job. They didn't expect the little cherries to become arrogant, self-centered, self-righteous. And I mean, the list could go on and on and on about the cherries. What happens when the cherries turn sour and they become corrupted? Well, like I say, we used to build cakes this way. Us, the people, we built the cake from scratch. We put the eggs in, we mixed the batter, we put it in the oven, we baked it. And this is the way we used to bake cakes back in the 20th century, back in earlier times. And why we baked cakes that way was because we had a system of the world that used to run on kings and sovereignty. And it used to have a little place where they used to keep all the gold. It used to be called a treasury. It's still called the treasury, but now all that's in there is a bunch of paper. The world's changing. It's becoming digital. And like I say, this is the way we used to make cakes. Back 20th century, this is the way cakes were made. Kings and queens and sovereignty and sovereign nations and everything else. But never forget, it's the people that baked the cake in the first place. And you get these pompous, arrogant little cherries who think they're bigger than the cold cake itself. But you know, the people can bake a cake, a new cake for the 21st century. We could even have a cake with no cherries on top at all. Still a good cake. It's good because the people are good. It's the cherries that have went sour. Anyway, listen, guys, let's get into the market now. And never be insulted by being called the fringe of the cake, because you are the best part of the cake. The people are the best part of the cake. You are the cake itself. It supports everything else. You support them. You've supported them too well. And this is why they've become sour. They've become sour because they've been fed and spoiled. They're spoiled. We've spoiled them. So that now they think that they're pompous little kings. They think they're Napoleon. Okay. Had my say. Let's move in. Let's get the market started right here. And let's take a look at what's going on. We got silver price today at $23.39. Okay, it hasn't moved. It's just sitting there at zero. Zero up, zero down. 23.30, no, 22.39, I should say. Let's take a look now at gold. Gold's at 1804. It's down 60 cents on the day so far. So there's not much movement in gold and silver right now. Let's take a look at cryptos. And let me refresh the page. It's getting up near 18. It cracked 1800. 803 billion. It's cracked it again. It's on its way up. Crypto's moving again. We're looking at a Bitcoin price of 39,408. I'm going to tell you, when it comes to gold, silver, and Bitcoins, your buying opportunities are moving toward a close. I sense that the Fed out there and the central banks, even though they're all gung-ho for this tightening that they're doing right now, I have this feeling that they're already starting to lose their nerve a little bit, but they're not saying it. And so I think when they do lose their nerve, when the markets start to go down in a serious way, they're going to lose their nerve really quick, and they're going to pivot. They're going to pivot overnight. They're just going to come out one morning, the pivot will be done, and the markets will be going back up, and everything will be going back up, and they're going to lose control over the gold and silver price. And I think they're going to lose control over the cryptocurrency price. And we're going to see that's going to be the road to high inflation when they pivot. And that pivot might come sooner than we think, a lot sooner. I might have been wrong. They might not hang diamonds in there. They might lose their nerve. The Fed might lose their nerve quicker than I could think. Because they've told everybody it's data dependent. Got to keep our eye on that Fed. We're watching them like a hawk right now. They're not going to get out from under my hawkish vision. I got my eye right on them. And they're a bunch of spoiled little brats, too. They're a bunch of spoiled cherries, too. That's what they are. They're the more spoiled cherries of the bunch. We've spoiled them all. The people. We've worked so hard. We're like a mother who diligently works to take care of their children, and they bring their children up to a certain age, and then their children turn on them after they've worked so hard. And they become spoiled brats. Yeah, well, whose fault is it? If the parents, I'm going to tell you, honestly, maybe it's time that we need new cherries. We need to elect a bunch of new cherries. Not spoiled ones. And not spoil them. Anyway, let's move on here and let's take a look now at it just incenses me what's going on. How they can be so much against the people and consider us, when they look at us, they see us as nothing but vile bunch of peasants that they don't even want to associate with us. They're so spoiled. They think they're so high and mighty. Oh my gosh, they just make me sick. The establishment, the elite, the bankers, the corruption in the system makes me sick. Dow Jones Industrial Average today, down 259 points. Now, they put in a good payroll report. Good jobs numbers today come in, for a change. It's above what the estimates were. So it's not buoying the market now. Why? Well, the 10-year. And don't I know where the 10 years going? I told you guys, I said yesterday, yeah, hey guys, they're going to start pricing it in again. Start going up. And I even told you the numbers. I said 1.9 something. And that's what we're at today with the U.S. 10-year, 1.9. Well, we'll see how far this goes, but I don't think this is going to go a lot farther. Now that the bond yields are starting to turn over, the Fed's probably sitting up there tapping the desk, and getting excited starting to lose their nerve. The whole bunch of them will lose their nerve. I'm going to tell you what. You'll never find a bigger coward than the ones at the top. It used to be the old kings in the old days. They used to actually go into battle with the people. They'd be right out front, charging into battle. They weren't cowards. Modern day politician, oh my gosh, what a bunch of sniveling cowards they are in real life. When things start to turn against them, watch how they'll switch their opinion and try to side with the people at a certain point when they get things start to not go their way. They've been mollycoddled their whole life, and when things start to not go their way, you watch them turn, lose their nerve really quick and easy. Anyway, 293 points to the downside today on the markets. We're taking a look at oil now, and it's up. Oh my gosh, look at the price of oil. Oh my gosh, look at her go. Listen guys, everything's made with oil. Every package you go to buy, the plastics are made with oil. They have to get everything to the store with oil. Everything's oil, oil, oil. This is an oil-based system. I've been saying that ever since my channel started. I can't tell you how many times I've said that on my channel. This is an oil-based economy. And you see oil prices going up like that, that's going to help fuel inflation. 92.80 for oil. Cracked the $92 mark. I wouldn't be surprised if it cracks 100. Okay, well, let's take a look now at the move index today. And we're going along sideways still, not climbing very much at 85.74. Bonds and rates is the big story today. Look at that U.S. 10-year, 1.925, up almost 10 basis points today alone. 30-year at 2.22, still got the inversion between the U.S. 20 and 30-year. Wow, that is really something. Okay. Now we're going to take a look at the DXY, the dollar index at 95.56. Euro, they're going to start tapering, I guess, on the bond purchases. This pivot's going to be all the central banks when it hits. They all pivot with the Fed. The Fed is a central bank of central banks, and they make policy. It's world policy. But that's, you got to understand that all the fiat currencies are all going to go down together with the dollar simultaneously. This is going to be a worldwide event, worldwide hyperinflation. We've never, ever had a worldwide hyperinflation. With a localized hyperinflation, they always reach out to something to use as a means of exchange. Oftentimes with hyperinflation, it's been the dollar that they've reached out to use as a means of exchange in a country. In this case, there's nothing else to reach out to except gold, silver, and cryptos. And that means that they'll retain their value while all these fiat currencies go down together. That means that there's going to be a value transfer, a wealth transfer, out of all the fiat currencies. You know how much value we're talking here? Everything's priced in dollars. Your house, your car. You transfer that value out because the dollar's worth nothing. So you're not going to say, well, my house is worth X amount when the dollar's worth zero. You can't anymore. You're going to have to say it's worth something else. Something else is going to have to represent that value. in your house, in your car, in your land, or in your business. And this goes all through everywhere. That transfer of wealth could drive the price up on cryptos, gold, silver. There's no way you can put a price marker on it when that value transfer were to happen. But it would also, when that value transfer happens, don't sit there and say, "Oh, I can't wait for that to happen. Make me wealthy." The world out there is going to look so bad, you'll wish you were back in the world where gold and silver were cheap. Because the world's going to look like like it's been mauled. When you transfer that much value that quickly from one set of hands to another, it causes a tremendous upheaval. That's what I'll call it. And of course, I've went into describing for you guys in the last few shows just how bad that upheaval could be. Thank you for listening to my show. Like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the very next episode. You guys have a great day, and I love my fans. Bye-bye, guys.